Hey everyone, welcome to Reading the Green and our golf DFS podcast. My name is Mike, joined with Kyle and Jordan on Tuesday, July 19th. We have the 3M Open preview, a recap of our Open Championship, and lots of other good banter. Guys, I'm going to call this our hometown major. We're based in Minneapolis. We have the tournament here just outside the Twin Cities. Kyle, you came up to the Twin Cities to record the pod in person. We're going to be out at the event, and then I couldn't even join you tonight, and I'm really sorry.
Mike had too many beers during the practice round today and couldn't drive over here. So
yeah, drove his kids home though. Drove his kids home from the practice round.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
For those that were following my thread on Twitter, I did have multiple children in tow. But you guys look cute sitting next to each other there in those comfortable chairs. I hope you're comfortable.
Maybe later we'll hold hands.
All right. Well, like I said, lots of good stuff. This is our hometown major, the 3M Open at TPC Twin Cities. And so before we get into the Open Championship recap, I was out there today for a practice round, and if you followed on Twitter, I recapped the few nuggets I had in the 3 hours that I was there. Saw about 6 golf shots, spent most of the time coloring in the kids area and checking out the giant golf ball science dome from 3M.
We talked about this before we got on the pod. Was like we were surprised you took Rosie with, because you had a free, like, the 4-month-old. You pushed him around and watched a ton of golf. But I know you're trying to get her into it. I get it.
It's a long game. This was the safe day too, right? It's the safe day, and I took my father-in-law, so that was good because he could take her around a few times, different things. But yeah, I mean, if she said something in someone's backswing, like, not the end of the world. But here's the deal. I wanted to share this story, which I didn't get into on Twitter. So we got some passes through a connection, had a little more access, and I wasn't quite sure where to park. So I asked one of the police officers near the course, and he directed me to City Hall, which apparently was the parking for 3M corporate pass holders and caddies. And so we got on this, like, executive sprinter van that was shuttling over across the street, and we hopped on, my father-in-law, my daughter, and then my infant son. And on come what appear to be a few caddies, looked like caddies, a few caddies, a player who I did not recognize, and then another guy. And they all kind of knew each other and were chatting up. And this conversation got pretty cool. The player started talking to this other guy who I think he mutually met through one of the caddies. And the guy was repping a local credit union. And they do a little bit of sponsorship on the PGA Tour. And this player was saying, this is literally what he said. He goes, "Hey, I'm only sponsored by one company, and I'm not required to wear their logos. So I'm not wearing any sponsored logos this week. I normally wear Callaway gear, but if what are you guys doing for shirts? What are you guys doing for hats this week? I'd be happy to sport something on Friday or Saturday." And they started going through numbers of what this credit union would pay this guy to wear a logo on his hat or a logo on his shirt one day of the week. And then the player says, he goes, "And if I'm in the lead on Saturday, the price is going up." So anyway, I thought this was hilarious. He's just, like, wheeling and dealing a sponsorship deal for that week on the ride over to the practice round to a guy he just met. And
wait, are we sure he was a PGA Tour player, or was he just a guy dressed up like he was there to golf and was just, like, messing with people?
I saw the logo on my shirt too.
Is he on the Country Club Adjacent Instagram?
That is a good point. No, I saw him playing later on in the morning, but I just thought that was it, honestly, and you guys will see it when we go out there. Like, I don't know that I've ever gone. This sounded crazy. I don't know if I've ever gone to a normal PGA Tour stop. I've been to a handful of majors, and that's always been the occasion to go, but there really hasn't been one in Minneapolis. So it's interesting to see just what week to week life is for these guys. And there's a lot of guys out there that are just trying to, make their money, make their cuts. One of the caddies who is going to be caddying for, he said he was caddying for Ben Crane this week. And one of the other guys is asking him how his game was. And he just goes, he was just trying to make cuts. He goes, we're not even trying to make cuts. This is all PVO, positive vibes only. And that was it. That was his goal for the week. So it was a
did you not
it was
know
a fun 5-minute ride.
Did you not know who the player was, or
No.
are you protecting their identity?
I did not know who this player was, and I was protecting the identity of the company that he was talking to. But like, I don't know who he was.
All right, that's a mission for Thursday. We got to figure out who that guy was.
Yeah, and did they make a deal?
They said it was like a, hey, let's talk later on or whatever. You know, are you gonna be hanging out all week? Yeah, okay. It was I don't know. I got a lot out of that little bus ride, so we'll have to see what else we can uncover.
So next year we need to go and be that credit union with our own gear. we will pay you $100 to wear this polo that has RTG on it.
Yeah. So anyways, I don't know. Any other thoughts? Yeah, I know you guys saw my stuff. I thought if you gotta follow us on Twitter, my daughter has developed an affinity for Justin Thomas, and so trying to explain to her why he's not playing this week, that was a challenge.
I look forward to JT seeing that tweet and making an appearance next year, and we'll get her out there, and I hope he shows up on Thursday wearing pink pants. That'd be perfect.
I know. This is how those, like, you know, make a dream come true stuff starts. So I appreciate our listeners kind of pumping up those tweets this afternoon. I know we want to get to the Open Championship. The last thing I'll say here is we did announce a giveaway for a driver fitting at Club Champion. We're happy to award that to one of our listeners. That helps us grow our following a little bit. So at the end of the week, we will select a listener randomly based on the number of entries that they had replying to that tweet. So go and check out our Twitter and get a part of that getaway. All right. Before we get into the Open Championship, you guys just told me what you're drinking. Remind me.
Currently, we are drinking an Other Half All Nelson Everything. Nice, a little hazy, not like it's very light colored. It's growing on me. We had the Other Half Toppling Goliath one that you had last week first, which was delicious. This one's growing.
That's at the bar a little too high.
Yeah, I don't know about the All Nelson Everything. It almost has that wine grapey finish, and I'm not sure.
What are you drinking?
I was gonna say the Sylvan grape taste. I have double dry hop King Sue in a 16-ounce can.
I did see that.
I saw this. Okay. I'd only seen it previously in like 500 milliliter bottles. I think I bought it a couple of years ago, and so I'll be honest. I think I like normal King Sue better, which I didn't think would be the case. But you know, that's a fun thing to see in a can every now and then.
It's just a big day for you over there, Mike. Going to a practice round, DDH King Sue. I like what you're putting out. Hey, positive vibes only.
Yeah, you know what? That's again, just like the inside look at what life is like week to week for these guys is just showing up and saying, I'm not even trying to make the cut. I'm just looking for some positive vibes.
We should have had him on the pod. That'd be
good.
Yeah, put out some PVO.
All right. Jordan, you might want to check the internet connection before we, as we continue on here for the Open Championship. There was a little bit of lag.
Uh-oh.
But just a reminder. All right. Open Championship. Kyle, how much I'll just get this out of the way first. This is a non-live Open Championship recap, right?
Yeah, for sure. I don't even know what those three letters you're talking about mean.
Good. Because I love Cam Smith's game. I've loved it, the last handful of years that he's been on tour, and I don't care what goes on in the next handful of weeks or months or years. That round of golf was incredible, and I guess I'm a Rory fan, but not the types of Rory fans that seem to just kind of live on Twitter all of Sunday. I really wanted Cam to win that golf tournament, and he put up a round that I think a few years from now you're going to look back and say this is just one of the best finishes in a major championship that we're going to see for a while.
Two things you hit on there. First off, you text on Sunday morning, I believe, right? You sent a text out to our group. What's your rooting interest? Are we rooting for our money and bets and on Cam, because most of us were, or are we going for the narrative with Rory? At the time, I said Cam, and I found myself rooting for Cam on Sunday. But in hindsight, I'm almost a little, and maybe some of the news that's came out with it has changed my view a little bit. But I feel bad for Rory now.
Yeah.
I kind of wish he did it. And I mean, it's not like he didn't put up a good round. I mean, he didn't go all out. Kind of almost looked to be coasting a little bit, but Cam just got him. And yeah, it was a great round. I know we'll talk to some of the specific swings of Sunday, but it was just great to watch.
See, and I was rooting for Cam Young because I texted Kyle at like 11:45 right before the Open started. I was like, "Are you awake? Let's bet on Cam Young." He didn't get it in, so then I really wanted because he was asleep. He was asleep, and I really wanted him to win, so then I could be like, "You cost me $100, a-hole." You had to go to bed before the Open started.
Somebody did bet on Cam Young though as a first round leader. Just saying.
You've been hot,
Kyle. You are the heater that you are on with the specific. I mean, I know you've hit a bunch of outrights the last 6 weeks, but the first round leader bets are incredible.
I want to hope I'm on to something. We'll see if I can keep it rolling, especially with some of the lower, less fields the next 3 weeks. But fingers crossed that I got a good little angle here and we can keep going.
Yeah. Just you were all over that and just love cashing those tickets. So with the tournament, I think -20 is the winning score. We knew that the course was going to be scoreable, and I wouldn't say the course buckled. Like there definitely were really confounding shots and tough lies and some strategy had to be played. But it did kind of lead to some. I was not expecting this. I was not expecting to watch this golf tournament for 4 days and see this many wedge shots and see guys routinely driving 340 to 370 yard par fours just all day long. And that's fun in like a match play tournament. But it was strange. It was strange watching them play the golf course this way. I didn't have a problem with it. It was just unexpected.
I think there was an element of it that was fun to me. Well, and I think some of it too was just because of the wind, right? Got a good forecast, but it's not like, yes, the winning score got to 20, but it's not like the guys broke the course. And it fell off pretty fast after you had Cam Young and Rory at 2019-18, then you got a couple guys at 14, but 15th you're down to single digits or under. Yeah, so it's not. Yeah, you had a couple guys that had great weeks. I enjoyed watching the creativity needed around the greens because they could take out driver, and you don't see tour pros hitting 30 to 40 yard shots into greens very often.
No, it is a good shot. It's a good.
And to have guys putting off roads and stuff like that, it was just it's just different golf. It's different golf. It's fun once in a while. Like, would I want to watch that every week? No, but it's just the different creativity and things you had to do, chipping backwards out, putting around a bunker on 17 when you're trying to win. It's just nuts.
Did you see? I know a bunch of the big golf media outlets had this, but did you see the fan view, the fan angle of that up and down that Cam had on 17?
The one from behind the green where you couldn't really. Yeah.
Did you realize like he was like 30 yards short of the green? He was he wasn't. It looked on TV like he was right up by that bunker, but there was quite a bit of space, and he just perfect speed.
Well, in the one video I saw from behind the green too, you could only see like this bill of his hat and up. That's just like to show how. I mean, I would either blow that 100 feet by or keep it short, and I'm in that bunker.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Perfect speed, and of course he makes the putt, and Rory essentially misses from the same spot. And that would have likely giving Rory a chance to get into a playoff. But I agree with you, Kyle. I think looking back on it, like this was just set up on a tee for Rory, and Cam played an incredible round, and I was, certainly happy to have him as an outright, and love watching guys play well like that. But if Rory doesn't win another major, I think this is really gonna sting.
He'll win another one.
I know, but this stuff it eats at you,
Yep. But now that he won't have to compete with, Patrick Reed and Brooks Koepka and at all these majors. I think his chances are going up.
Yeah, we'll see how things play out here. But
right, we said no live talk. 2 more questions. Well, actually, 1 question and 1 comment. What's up with Vic Hovland? Is he a fraud? Is this he just needs more reps on the spotlight? Like, we think he's this great player. He's won all over the world, but he really hasn't had much of a stage in majors. And so this was, again, he was tied with Rory going into Sunday. This wasn't like he was 3 shots behind. This was Rory's to lose. Like, it was as much as Vic's to win as it was Rory's.
I've kind of thought Vic, and he's not a guy I play much in DFS because I always thought he was a touch overrated. Yeah. And not, I mean, not that he's not a great golfer. I do think he's, obviously a great talent, and he's won some events. He's just not at the level that he's been priced to for most of the year. Yeah. And, and there was a little bit of talk around him this week, and he was priced at $9,000, which I still thought was really high. And granted, this wasn't a course, that you had to chip a lot. You might have been 30 yards off green, but you could putt that, which helped him. Mm-hmm. But it's still like he's won those lesser field events. He has a huge hole in his game. And until that's fixed or he shows some life there, unless it's kind of a quirky setup like this, I just don't think he's a guy I'm going to go back to very often in a full field event.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And I agree. Haven't been playing him a lot in DFS. And when he does flash, I don't really have a problem with not rostering him. Jordan.
We should talk about here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Brian Harman.
I was just going to say that. We were all over it.
Yeah.
If you can get that much extra distance, like short hitter had a chance with the wind. He's gonna miss the cut by 5 strokes. With no wind, he's got a chance.
Yeah, he doesn't have to. Yeah, he doesn't have to drive 350-yard par 4s. He doesn't have to drive it on the green. He can drive it to probably 30, 40, 50 yards and get up and down half the time.
Yep. Yes, in my 20 max, I had Harman in every lineup. So I took him out and put Keith Mitchell in. Keith Mitchell proceeded to bend me over and have his way with me.
He tried to make the cut. He had I think he had an eagle on Friday, but he backed up at the end.
It was sad.
I think I had to go back to our text to see if I was saying we should go after Brian Harman in the big Calcutta. But I think I said it after the fact that someone got him for like $250, and that's the guy I felt like got away.
Yeah, what was the payout? Did you go back and look?
I think it was $26K.
Yeah. Ooh, for first, not for him.
For first. Yeah, not the overall. The overall pot was
he got like $1,200.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't.
Or $1,600, yeah. Yes, that Calcutta is absurd.
Well, there's like 8 people in it. It's like the same 8 guys just draft all the players. So It's just passing thousands of dollars around in a circle. So anyways, a couple of other comments here on the Open Championship. Our listener league. This was our biggest listener league turnout of the year. We finally filled our contest. So we want to be able to do that every week. We're pulling new people in each week. So that was awesome. Lots of money to then shell back out to people like OSU Stu, who wins the big pot. Ryan Elwood taking second, and Kyle, congrats on a big money third.
I was in second until I was hoping Rory would just completely fold on 18 when he didn't birdie there or didn't eagle there and bogey it, because when that par moved him ahead of me. I was in second until Rory part. Yeah.
There you go.
But on 18, the way 18 was playing, it was a foregone conclusion I was going to lose. But maybe he would just go way too aggressive on the
hit one in the street or something like that. It's only 130-yard wide fairway that Bryson did manage to miss on Friday or Saturday.
Was that his duck hook left, and then he still
hit? Yeah, then he hit it to like a foot.
Yeah.
After a ridiculous, TIO drop. But anyways, overall, DFS lineups, I think we had a few landmines that I think bit me. Seamus Power and Max Homa both were guys that I leaned on pretty heavily. I didn't lean on Justin Rose all that much, but we can have our weekly gripe over last-minute withdrawals. I think he just basically no-showed on the tee.
Yeah, and it was well, granted, it's not like I was going to change it at 1 a.m., but it was post-lock too. So
yeah,
what can we do?
What you can do is not pick Justin Rose. You have hacks.
That might be a rule going forward. Once you burn me by after lock withdraw CT Pan, Justin Rose, it's pretty hard for me to click on that name again. I'm not lie. Overall, I felt like lineups were okay, not great, but I felt like we underperformed the sheet a little bit. Just from some of the stuff we've been bouncing around. I mean, Kim Smith had a lot of love. I had a lot of Cam in my lineups, and that's what carried the ones that did well. I mean, Rory was obviously top of sheet. Spieth, Xander weren't sinking anything. Fleetwood, who I probably was a little underweight on. Well, I mean, even like a guy like Tony Finau was 16th in DraftKings points, and I did not play much of him. It was just really – I had a lot of Homa and I had a lot of Seamus Power, and I had a decent amount of Mitchell. And all three of those, well, Homa and Mitchell missed the cut on the number, right?
Yeah. And those guys are all good value too. So those are places we were going in our lineups in the, the low 7Ks, high 6Ks to try to get some value, and didn't work out. So that's all right. We move on to the next week. And so last thing I'll say is Brad Thomas, who writes for NBC Sports Edge, was our top expert of the week. Rory, Xander, Harold Varner, and Thomas Detry were his 4 recommended plays, and he ended up finishing on top. A handful of other good contributors out there, though, that had other guys get through the cut. So we tweeted that out, and we'll look to kind of roll that forward into the next event here. Any other final thoughts on the Open?
I just got to put it out there one more time because I don't know how often it will happen, but the second double bet head of the year for me on a first-round leader, Cam Young at 81 we talked about, and then both Mike and I had Cameron Smith 28-1. And both had 2 units on that one. So great week from us from a betting perspective. I know we talk mostly about DFS, but the bets have been pretty hot.
What are we gonna do when you move back to Minnesota?
Drive to Iowa.
Or as Kyle says, the legislation has to get done by the time that happens.
Yes.
Well, we just need to somehow trick the people that don't want it into voting for it in Minnesota, like that they got tricked into voting for marijuana.
Yeah.
Just there's going to be a betting cap, and it'll be okay.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back and talk about the hometown major, the 3M Open. Hey everyone, welcome back. We have the second half of the show, the 3M Open preview. But first, you can play DraftKings Golf DFS with Reading the Green and our listeners every week in our listener league. Look for the link to join that on Twitter. It's lots of fun. We filled it last week for the Open Championship, so let's do that again for the hometown major. All right. 3M Open. This is the 4th year that the 3M Open has been a PGA Tour event. Previously had been a Champions Tour stop for about 15 years. It is played at TPC Twin Cities, just north of Minneapolis in Blaine, Minnesota. Last year, Cam Champ won. Previously was Michael Thompson, and before that was Matt Wolff. Back to normal cut rules, normal field size. And guys, Kyle, I know we're texting about this. I'm really excited for this field, and I think that it is a stronger field than compared to the John Deere. I know a lot of people will group this tournament in with that. It is a stronger field than the John Deere, and there's a lot of players playing that we've been, playing in daily fantasy all year, and I think there's a lot of great storylines. And I'm really excited to go out and see some of them live, and then just hopefully place a couple of good bets here. I think it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, I think fields like this, and you hit it on the head that it's stronger than John Deere. I feel like people are kind of hating on it, but I think it's just because it's after the major.
Yeah.
That fields like this, though, are kind of DFS fantasy players. Like, we get psyched about playing guys like Davis Riley or Michael Giglick or Chris Gotterup.
Psyched.
I do.
Psyched to play Davis Riley and
at 9K. Let's go. Yeah. So yeah. I'm excited about it. And actually, the DFS community as a whole seems to really like this course from a viewing perspective. There's a lot of, it's kind of boom or bust. It's kind of a birdie fest, but not. The line everyone's been jumping on this week is from one of the tournament promoters about, we want birdies and we want train wrecks. But there's 14 holes out here that have a 20% birdie rate, but also a 10% bogey rate. So you see par fives where guys can eagle, and you see par fives where the same par five, like 18, guys might get 7.
Yeah, there's so I played this course once, probably 6 or 7 years ago, and I recall that the fairways were enormous, and I was just ripping driver everywhere I could. Pretty big greens. Yeah, there are quite a few water hazards, but the fairways were so big that you just kind of hit it wherever. And my understanding is that over the last several years, they have done, and especially to help get a PGA Tour event, because that's a traditional Arnold Palmer design, is to have very generous landing areas. They've really narrowed the fairways, and they've made the course a little tougher. And standing out there today, either when we go out there on Thursday, you're going to look at some of these tee shots from these guys are hitting from and be like, where are they going to land this ball? Huge bunkers, a lot of rolling, undulated fairways. And so I think it's going to be, if it's windy, and I know the forecast is for the die down a little bit, but if it's windy, it's going to be tough to keep the ball in play. And so I hope to see the course hang in there and not just be I don't think minus 25. I don't think it's going to be that. But I hope the course hangs in there.
Well, and the score's gone down all 3 years, right? It's from winning in the 20s to, was last year 14, I think?
Something like that, I think, yeah.
When Mike, you didn't talk about the area around the course, with the city of Blaine. I think we need to talk about that a little bit. I did hear for the first time a new reference to Blaine. I mean, I heard this weekend, I heard someone call it Blaine-tucky. And I laughed.
Hey, that's insulting to all of our Kentucky listeners.
That's so, for the listeners out there, that the fact that Blaine-tucky might be insulting to our Kentucky listeners shows you all you need to know about what the city of Blaine is like. They have an amazing golf course, and they have this amazing sports complex
for soccer,
and hockey. The rest of it you just want to drive right through.
Yep, that's where we'll be parking, unless we can swing the deal and ride with the caddy bus on Thursday again. But yeah, there's not much up there, and it is a bit of a hike from where we live, kind of closer into Minneapolis. But it is. You're right. It's a cool golf course. Now, from a spectator standpoint, it kind of winds its way through these developments, and so you can't just park out in one corner of the course and see 4 or 5 holes easily. You kind of have to walk along the way that the players play, 12, 13, 14, 15, because you can't really cross over all that easily. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. It'll be fun.
So, Mike, we'll save this for after the picks, but let's rank where this course fits in Minneapolis golf courses.
Sure.
I think it'll be a fun little exercise.
I like it.
But we can save it for after the picks.
All right. Yes, because we have things to get to. So Kyle's going to run us through the model, and then we got to get to name game, betting cards. Jordan, your member guest recap that we didn't get to in the first half, and then our Minnesota course rankings. So Kyle, why don't you hit us with where the model's shaking out right now?
We are missing a lot at this time. I think there's a little bit of the major hangover, as we talked about. So we still, some articles trickling in. So we're just going to highlight the top three at this point. We have Cameron Davis coming in at $8,900 at 44% mention share. Brendan Steele at $8,300 at 38% mention share. And Davis Riley at $9,000, 33% mention share. And from an MPI standpoint, Steele's leading the way there at 81, Riley at 61, and Cameron Davis coming in at 42 at this point in time.
Can we at least comment
of people I think we'll highlight as some of our picks?
Yeah, I wanted to hear, though, you talked about MPI. I want to at least hear you comment on who the number one player in the power index is at this time.
Would that be Mr. Chris Gotterup?
He did, yes.
How did he do that?
I don't have my table to make the Jordan.
Chris got her up.
Good for him. Okay, but Kyle, you've consumed a lot of content this week. All I'm seeing on Twitter is that the amount of chalk on this guy this week is incredible. What's the deal? Why? I actually pulled up his last handful of events because I was trying to figure this out. Yes, he was T4 at the John Deere. Made the cut in the U.S. Open, missed the cut at the RBC, finished T7 at Puerto Rico, played a bunch on the Corn Ferry. Like, why are we so excited about Chris Gotterup this week?
He was the PGA Golfer of the Year, right? And
for what?
Like last year?
But like, what do you mean PGA Golfer of the Year?
What is
not the PGA Tour Golfer of the Year?
Sorry. NCAA Golfer of the Year.
There we go.
Yeah,
I was very confused because I had never heard of this guy before.
I don't know the name of the award, Mike. Do you? Like,
I don't know.
Theegala also has won it before.
Yeah, he won. I think Theegala won it twice. Yeah.
But the reason I think some people are getting on him is he kind of looks like a little mini Brooks Koepka or younger Brooks Koepka at this point in time. Sponsored by Nike, kind of a ripped dude, likes to have fun and show that fun on Instagram. So I think some people just kind of generally like him. In addition to, he has some good raw talent. The first time I played him was at RBC in Canada, and he bombed and missed the cut. But then, of course, he showed up at John Deere, and then everyone was on him at Barbasol. He was huge salary and whatnot, and he also did not do well there. That being said, Pat Mayo is on him, which is driving a lot of the MPI. So sure. I do think he's someone you're going to have to look at. I did bet him this when the numbers came out and got a pretty good number there. Just got caught up in the Twitter frenzy, I would say. But Chris Gotterup. So rolling into some of my other bets. So I have to say my flag plant last week, I know my three picks have struggled on the show. But my flag plant last week was Cameron Smith. That one hit. I'm going back to another flag plant play this week at more upper on the board in salary perspective. But Sahith Theegala, 9,800. He's coming at 27% mention share at this time. A little middling on the MPI, but he is someone that's going to be a big part of my lineup. A little bit of a price break over the top guys, and do like him from a betting perspective.
Can I just drop a little nugget since I talked to Sahith today?
Yeah.
I asked him what happened to his beard. He was clean shaven, which surprised me because he was rocking like a pretty thick beard. Mm-hmm. And he said, "Don't worry about it. It'll be back in 2 days."
So I
have that same problem.
Yeah, I got to know more about this exchange though. So he walks up after hitting a tee shot, and you're just like, "Hey, what happened?"
Yeah. It's like there's nobody out there. Like the 3M is like pretty good for spectators, especially on a practice round. There's nobody there, and so he came up on the 13th hole in the tee box. He was I'm trying to think who he's playing with. I can't remember now, but he just before he kind of came over to drop something in the trash and said, "Hey, Sahith, you dropped the beard, man," and he was like, "Don't worry about it. I'll be back in 2 days."
I love it. inside information you can't get anywhere else.
No, I mean that's breaking news. The beard will be back.
Well, and maybe if it doesn't, the temperature doesn't break, maybe he shaves it again.
No, I'd say I don't play him. It's gonna be 93 on Friday with about 1,000% humidity. If he's got that beard, he's gonna be too hot. I think I'm off of him. I'm not gonna play him all weekend.
Jordan Dietrich effect right there. So did you see my next one? Did you see my boy Davis Riley out there today?
I did not see Davis Riley. I saw a handful of other guys. I saw Patton Kazire hitting some putts with his shirt untucked. I thought that was unbecoming, but he did tuck it in for the actual practice round before he hit one into the houses. But
see, I've become a fan of the untucked polo. Like Travis Matthews shirts aren't actually meant to be tucked in. Like they're too short to be tucked in. So when you play, they pop out. Tonight I wore it. It was out. It gives you a little more like movement. I think the PGA Tour should allow untucked shirts.
That's that Live Golf will do that first.
That's why Live Golf is going to take over the world.
All right, Kyle, hit us with the rest of your picks.
Davis Riley, not coming at 9K as we mentioned, the 33% mention share. I do like him this week. I think he's a little bit of a safer play. The only concern would be we haven't seen him since the Travelers. But he's performed much better than in much stronger field events. So I am going back to that well. And then finally, a name I'm not going to give up on yet, but he got special exempt status for the rest of the PGA season, is our boy Tom Kim. I know he's catching a lot of heat and will probably end up pretty high owned. At $7,300, you can do much worse in this field at that low of price point. So especially from a cash game perspective, I'm not going to be scared away. And not all chalk is bad chalk. Like if a guy performs well, especially at $7,300, you got to have him, and you just be overweight to the field.
But do you have to have him if he's only 7 MPI? And that's not out of scale.
We'll let this shake out. We'll let the MPI shake out.
We got some strong contributors coming in, and one thing with him is he wasn't officially in this field until yesterday afternoon. So some of the earlier articles probably missed his inclusion.
Oh, okay.
I'll add a couple of names. And I'll try to go quick. So Davis Riley, I think is a steal at 9K. I think just compared to the caliber of his play this year, and I know he hasn't played in a while, but I think 9K is a great price for him. Adam Svensson, Fantasy Labs cash plays is on him. I think great value for Adam Svensson, getting a decent amount of love. $7,600. This guy has had great form, played well in the Barracuda last week, the Barbasol, and then absolutely total disrespect both on the DFS side and the sportsbook side. Tom Hoagie, $7,100 in this field. Total disrespect for a hometown favorite. I got him at a number 110-1 when the books first opened. I think he's come down a little bit. Again, total disrespect. You're going to see him top 20 this week for sure.
Yeah, I don't think I'd take that bet.
Is anyone out there keeping track of how many times Mike throws out Hoagie as a play?
Yeah.
Now, outside of Pebble Beach right now, with his form, I don't know.
It's getting pretty bad. We're gonna have to get Mike some knee pads soon.
The only one that was really the complete disaster was the match play, but this is like borderline. I mean, he was 6,800 in the match play, and he's 7,100 in this field. Come on.
I
ridiculous
price. His betting number where that opened at relative to this field was much too long for a guy that's won in the last calendar year.
And he's probably played here like numerous times, right? Being from the area, like easy for him to get on. It's not like this is
Let's just let the leaderboard do the talking.
Yep.
Jordan, anyone you'd like to add?
So I'm going a little alphabet soup this week. One was Svensson, right? He's got too many S's in his name, but he's been playing well. The other one is Mike Golick. He's finally gotten done with his ESPN radio show, and he's slimmed down from his football playing days. And I guess he's good. It's only 7,000, so I'm going in on Mike Golick there, which we spelled his name wrong, Gligic. Like, that's not how you spell Golick, Mike.
This is the Jordan we know and love, bringing you the high quality plays.
There was not like it's a very weird, like, there's no one really stands out. There's no great value plays because there's a shit ton of people that are at 7,000 or around 7,000. So it's naming some names that one of them I've heard of, and I've literally never heard. Michael Gligic.
I actually do not mind Mr. Gligic as a play this week.
Yeah.
If you are looking to get a little different on a GPP style line.
Yeah. Maybe we should tweet at Mike and Mike in the morning and see if they respond.
With like circa 2015, I think those guys broke up quite a while ago. All right, Kyle, what about tiers?
Tiers. I am going to go to a tier that I feel like we have a pretty clear play this week in tier 4. The model really likes Chris Gotterup, as we've talked about, relative to some of the other folks in tier 4. You have Nick Hardy there. You have Party Marty, Martin Layard there.
Party Marty.
And Ryan Palmer. Sorry, it was sorting on me as I was looking. So
yeah, I see that.
Yeah, and Ryan Palmer. So at this point, Chris Gotterup has the best vintage share and a really strong MPI, as we discussed. So he would be my play in tier 4.
All right. Yeah, we'll be back to hopefully like a normal tier week this week. It's been a couple of odd weeks.
Did you also ever 5 years ago think that Jason Day and Ricky Fowler would be in not that they would be in the same tier, but that tier would be tier 5
and 77 and $7,800?
No, I didn't think that. Not now. I mean, those guys, they're in their early to mid 30s. No, I didn't think so.
How if Ricky hasn't gone, I know no live talk. If Ricky hasn't gone live yet, he's not going, right?
Right. I think he struggles too much with his buddies that are hanging around.
Yeah.
Well, and just I think the prevailing wisdom around when live announcements would be really seemed to change today as I took in a lot of content, and most people think it's either going to be after Eastlake or even after the President's Cup. So even if the Decky and Cam do jump, we're not going to know for a while.
Yeah. All right. So there's the DFS preview. Let's do the name game.
Name game. Okay. So last week, did we confirm this? Did Siwoo hang on over Tom?
By 5 strokes.
By 5 strokes. Okay. I missed the cut on the number with my Kim. So I once again am designing the game this week. Mm-hmm. So this week is a 2-player week, and it's a 2-part game. The first part is going to be a lottery, as we've been doing. The second part, your player is already assigned based on their name, and it's something that name's meaning within your life. So,
okay.
No, I don't want Roger Sloan on my team.
You have Roger Sloan. So, and Mike has Peter Malnati.
Is it because my dad's name is Roger or my daughter's name is Sloan?
And I have Callum Tarrant.
Cool. Cool.
Okay, so those guys are on our teams.
Those are on our teams. And then the second teammate, the theme this week is double G. So there's 3 players. You have Garrick Higo, Grayson Sig, or Harry Higgs. They're all between $6,700 and $7,500. Since Jordan's crying about getting Roger Sloan.
Well, let's be real here, boys.
You can take the first selection.
Hold on. So it was Roger Sloan.
You have Roger Sloan.
What's Peter's?
Peter Malnati. He's not even on.
He's not even on the sheet. What's his dollar amount?
It can't be very much. And then Callum Tarrant.
Callum, he's getting some love.
A little bit.
Some love this week.
I do not mind Callum Tarrant this week as a play.
Okay, and the others are the G boys.
Yeah, just search for double G in the sheet.
So Jordan gets first pick.
So I get the pick between dog poop, cat poop, and Harry Higgs.
Garrick Higgo is the highest priced of the three.
75.
Oh man, look at this table talk.
Wow. I almost included Grayson Sig in my alphabet soup earlier. And I'm gonna go Grayson Sig.
I was scouting him today. I saw him hit a couple of tee shots. I think you're gonna like what you got, Jordan.
Nice. Is he the brand Grayson? Is that his brand?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So he's out. Yep. He designs the clothes for Justin Thomas now.
Oh, nice.
So you have Team Grayson Sloan.
Oh, cool.
Mike, you can go next. Garrick Higgo or Harry Higgs?
Yeah, obviously, Garrick had a nice tournament last week at the British Open. So I think I actually think that Harry Higgs is he's gonna have a couple of good nights out here in Minneapolis. So I'm gonna go Harry Higgs. He's feeling the Twin Cities vibes.
Why did we not invite Harry Higgs for beers? Yeah. I just realized that.
I mean, it's get him over tomorrow night.
Done. All right, that leaves me with Garrick Higgo. I'm very happy with that selection. And so I have Garrick Higgo and Callum Tarrant. Game on.
Yeah.
All right.
I would assumed Harry was the last pick, Mike. So you gave Kyle one there, but he's also been terrible at this game, so he might last place. I think we need to do I don't know if it's a plus minus or whatever it is, but we can tweet out the name game results, right? We can keep a leaderboard. You get 3 points for first, 2 points for second, 1 point for third.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
All right, good on air production meeting here. I think we're figuring this out as we go.
Yeah, we've lost.
All right.
Already. Anyway,
I think so. I know. All right, here's the last thing we'll do on the 3M Open. I know we gotta wrap up here rather quickly, but final betting plays, Kyle. I already gushed over my Tom Hoagie number. A couple of others I liked longer shots, Austin Smotherman and Doug Gim this week. I think both been playing decent well and set up well for this course. Who else do you have on your card, Kyle?
I already mentioned Thigala. Got her up at 6,500. I'm not sure I love the bet, but just couldn't miss out on being part of golf Twitter for that. Nick Hardy, 4,500. Brendan Steele, okay. And then I got Callum Tarrant as my bomb play this week at 131.
Sweet.
Wait, how did I miss Nick Hardy and making Ed Hardy jokes in my picks? Does he wear Von Dutch hats too?
You can save it till next week.
Oh, and then I forgot I did place. I went a little above my normal budget and threw in a Lucas Glover based on right at the Iowa-Minnesota border today, based on one of the pods. So to go there.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, Jordan. End of the pod. Let's get the details on the member guest.
I should have brought the trophy down here to have on display.
Or did you want to do the course rankings first?
Oh, yeah. Do you want to do Minneapolis? Mike? You've played more courses up here than we have. Where does TPC Blaine rank? Top 5, top 10, top 15. I don't need a specific number.
Top 30.
I know. I'm pretty sure it's not in Golf Digest's top 25.
No, in Minnesota, it's not even in the top 25.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've played this course once, and like I said, it was 7 years ago. Let's answer that on Thursday. I don't know that it definitely doesn't crack my top 15 in Minnesota.
Yeah,
maybe in the Metro, but I don't know.
And part of that's just the difference between PGA Tour and regular, right? Like a lot of the top courses, right? Like Interlaken, you can't have a men's tournament at, right? There's a lot of courses like that,
Yeah. Spring Hill's not hosting PGA events. Windsong's not hosting PGA events, and so, but those courses are fabulous. And I think there's just something about like playing of the courses that kind of wind through the housing developments and all that just kind of like maybe a great course, but isn't the right setting.
Yeah, the hills of Blaine-Tucky.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now let's hear about the member guest.
Member guest. Great. Most golf I've done in a while. 18, 27, 18, 3 days. The new irons are playing great. I probably hit 80% of the fairways also on the weekend.
You're so good off the tee. You crushed that driver.
It's been the driver has been real good this year. And the back nine at our course, if I hit my driver how I should, I'll only hit one iron on the back.
It's all wedges.
All wedges. Yeah. Even playing today, driver on one of the holes, I was 5 yards off the green on a fairly long par 4, but it's downhill. We had a little wind. Like, it's easy like that. I can do that all day and make pars. But I started out, I don't know if I texted you guys this or not, but first hole of the entire tournament Friday morning, eagled the par 5. Perfect driver, perfect hybrid, made that 20-foot putt, longest putt I made all weekend, and literally it sucked the wind out of the team we were playing. I was 3 up through 3 holes after that. But no, I played great. My partner played good enough. It was a best ball, so as long as you don't both do bad on a hole, you've got a chance. And I think there were only 3 or 4 of the 45 holes that we played where we both just shit the bed, and that meant we were in it.
Yeah, I mean, that's all. You're just trying to accumulate points and get to the shootout. It doesn't really matter how. And so you said you were eliminated on the first hole, the shootout, in that you had hit the approach into the green not quite close enough. And I was starting to put 2 to 2 together when you were telling me this about how you were eliminated, and it turns out that you didn't 2-putt the long putt, and you didn't 3-putt it either.
Correct. It was a solid 4-putt. It's interesting. So like the weird thing was the alternate shot in the shootout is you get strokes.
Right.
But the first hole, every team got a stroke. Even the team that was a combined 6 handicap. Right. We were a combined 28, 26. Like, the assumption is head-to-head alternate shot, we're going to lose in the first hole.
Yep.
And then I made my partner hit the driver on the first hole because he's a much better driver hitter than an iron player. I put it on the green, and then we rabbit turds down our shorts. But it's nerve-wracking. If there's 100 people standing around a single green, and it was an elevated green, so they all got out of their carts.
Yeah.
Literally a full ring around the entire green was people, plus the 30 players that were there.
Isn't that fun? That fun?
It was so fun. And people clapped when I hit the green.
Yeah.
I've literally never had anyone clap for a shot. And I couldn't see it because the green, that it was raised and we were behind a little hill. And people clapped, and I was like, I hit the fucking green. Let's go. We're gonna get to the next hole. Yeah. And then we totally
that's fun.
Yeah. But it was so fun. I drank about 1,000 high noons. It was delightful.
Awesome. Well, good stuff, Jordan. Congrats on the win. Hopefully that came with some nice gear, some credit in the shop, and some cash. And that good luck to you the rest of your golf season. You're playing great. Kyle and I have work to do, I think.
Yeah, we'll work to do.
Yeah. I played like crap tonight, Mike, and I still shot a 41.
Ah, God, you're so money and you don't even know it.
The game is feeling good. Driver, putter, new irons.
So you haven't signed up for the Greenskeeper Revenge yet?
It's not even on the schedule. I don't know if they're going to do it again.
I hopefully I'm in. All right, so let's we'll put a wrap on the show. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at RTG Podcast DFS, on our YouTube channel, Reading the Green, and of course, any of the major podcast platforms. We'll be back in a week to cover the 3M Open DFS results, our time out there in the tournament this week, and preview the Rocket Mortgage Classic. See ya.